Here we have several small examples that involve list price, net price, trade discount, and trade discount rate calculations. Let's take a look at Part A. In Part A, we know that the list price is $300, so let's say list is equal to $300, and we also know that the net price, N, is equal to $214. Now we know that the trade discount, the amount of discount, is simply the difference between the list price and the net price, so that's easy to calculate. Discount, the amount of discount is $300 less the $214, which is $86. So the amount of discount is $86. Now, one other thing that we also know is that the amount of discount is always a percent of the list price. So let's make a note of that. Discount is a percent of the list price, so that's list price times the discount rate. And given that we already know the discount is $86, so let's substitute that. It's $86 is equal to list price of $300 times the discount rate. So that means that the discount rate is in fact simply calculated by dividing both sides by $300. So 86 divided by $300 gives us the discount rate. And the discount rate ends up being equal to 0.28666, repeating. And that means that the discount is 28 2/3%. So a discount rate of 28 2/3% will reduce the list price from $300 to $214. In Part B, we know that the net price is $44.90 and the amount of discount is $320. So let's make a note of that. Net price is equal to $44.90 and the trade discount is equal to $320. Now, when you have those two amounts, net price and amount of discount, it's easy to determine the list price because the list price is the price before the trade discount was applied. So the net price plus the discount will give us the list price. So adding these two amounts gives us a list price of $4,810. So we now have the net price, the amount of discount, and the list price, and all we have to do is calculate the trade discount rate. Now we know from our relationships that the amount of discount, D, is equal to a percentage of the list price. So the discount multiplied by the trade discount rate will give us the amount of discount. And we happen to know that the amount of discount is $320, so 320 substituted in for D is equal to list price of $48.10 multiplied by the trade discount rate. So all we need to do now is to divide both sides by $48.10. So D is equal to $320 divided by $48.10. And this gives us a trade discount, if you work this out on your calculators, of 0.066528, 0.066528, and 8, and so on. So we're going to round that off to a discount rate of 6.65%. So a trade discount of 6.65% was the net effect. In Part C, we are given the fact that the amount of trade discount is $14 and the trade discount rate is 15%. So let's make a note of those pieces of information. The amount of discount is $14 and the trade discount rate, lowercase d, is 15%. And we're asked to determine the list price and the net price. We don't know what the list price is and we don't know what the net price is. However, one thing that we do know is that the amount of discount is always a percentage of list price. So it's list price multiplied by the trade discount rate. And so what we can do is we can actually substitute the fact that the amount of discount is $14 and that's equal to list price multiplied by 15%. The trade discount rate is 15%. So the amount of discount is 15% of the list price. From that, what we're going to do is divide both sides by 15% to solve for the list price. So it's $14 divided by 0.15. Always use the decimal form. And that gives us a list price equal to an amount of $93.33. And that's very useful information because now we know that the list price is $93.33. We also know that the amount of discount is $14. And so the net price is simply the difference between the two amounts. So list price minus the discount will give us the net price. And so net price is equal to $79.33. So we have now all of the figures that we need. In Part D, we are told that the list price is $72. And we are also told that the amount of trade discount, D, is equal to $24. So capital D is $24. Now, we're asked to determine the net price, and we're asked to determine the trade discount rate. Now, it's always a good idea to use common sense here. If we know that the list price is $72, and we know that the discount is $24, then the net price is simply the difference between the two. So net price is equal to list price minus the amount of discount. And in this particular case, that works out to be $48. So now we have a lot of information. We know that the net price is $48. From here, we also can take advantage of the fact that discount is always a percentage of list price. So it's list price multiplied by the trade discount rate. And so the amount of discount is $24. And we're going to take the list price of $72 and multiply by the discount rate, which we're trying to figure out. And we're solve for D by dividing both sides by 72. So we've got 24 divided by 72. This gives us a trade discount rate of 33 1/3%. So a single discount rate of 33 1/3% will reduce the list price to a net of $48. In Part E, we are told that the net price, N, is equal to $54.50. And we are told that the discount rate, D, lowercase d, is 22%. And from these two pieces of information, we're asked to determine what the list price is. And in fact, we're also asked to determine the amount of discount, the amount of trade discount. So let's see if we can work that out. First of all, let's make use of the fact that the net price is a percentage of the list price. So let's write down that relationship. Net price is equal to list price times 1 minus the trade discount rate. We know that the net price is $54.50, so let's substitute that. $54.50 is equal to list price, we don't know, but we do know that the discount rate, 1 minus the discount rate, is 1 minus 22%. So if I subtract 22% from 100%, that leaves me with a cost factor of 78%. So now I have $54.50 is equal to list price times 0.78. My net cost factor is 78%. That allows me to solve for the list price. So I'm going to divide both sides by 78%. So $54.50 divided by 0.78 results in a list price equal to $6,987.18. Now, we have the list price, and we also have the net price. And rather than relying on formulas, let's just use common sense. If we know that the list price is $69.87.18, and we know that the net price is $54.50, then certainly the amount of discount, D, is going to be the difference between these two amounts. So let's subtract, and the difference is $15.37.18. So the amount of discount ends up being $1,537.18. And for this last example, we are told that the list price is $670. So list is $670. And we are also told that the trade discount rate, D, is equal to 10%. And given those two pieces of information, we're expected to determine the net price. What is the net price equal to, and what is the amount of discount equal to? Let's see what steps we need to take in order to determine those two values. In this case, we're again going to refer to the fact that the net price is always a percentage of the list price. So let's write down that relationship. Net price is equal to list times 1 minus the trade discount rate. And in this particular case, we know that the list is $670 and we know that the trade discount is 10%. So we're going to subtract. We have 1 minus 10%. This leaves us with a net cost factor of 90%. So $670 times 90%. This gives us a net price of $603. So that's useful information. So now that we know that the net price is $603, and we also know that the list price is $670, so the amount of discount is simply the difference between the two amounts. In other words, the amount of discount is simply $67. Use common sense to work out the amount of discount if you happen to know the net price and the list price. Of course, you can also double check. You can double check by saying that the discount is equal to a percentage of list price. So list price multiplied by the discount rate, and the amount of list price is $670. So 670 times 10% discount rate is in fact the same as the $67. So that's a nice confirmation of our calculation.